Tab. Taste the sassy difference.
Why not?
WROC-TV 8, Rochester.
Good evening, I'm Mark Grimm. Virginia Butler is off tonight. At the head of our late report, still more waves being made over Pure Waters. The county project has been besieged by accidents and criticism for its minority contracting. News 8 has learned tonight an association of minority contractors claims the county has been consistently late paying them for work on the sewer system. That public announcement is expected tomorrow. News 8 also learned the Moran administration is considering suspensions and dismissals in the engineering department. And the county has decertified 2 minority subcontractors for having close ties with white-owned companies.
And it wouldn't surprise me in the least that the administration finds people who are in fact culpable, that they take action.
The Sewer Investigation Committee met tonight in hopes to start questioning witnesses at its next meeting. Chairman Bill Benet says he'll use subpoena powers if necessary. Sounds of protest are still being heard tonight regarding the sirens incident near the Gnay nuclear plant Saturday night. Webster residents who heard the warnings, which turned out to be a mistake, say they couldn't find out what was happening. A county legislator from Webster, Peter Stacy, and County Public Safety Commissioner Ray Santaracco discussed the issue here on News 8 at 6.
Many citizens who followed those instructions as promulgated by the county and by the Rochester Gas and Electric Company called in and listened to the radio as instructed and found out that they could not get information as to whether there was a real incident at the Gnay plant. This makes us all concerned that if there were to be a real incident at the Gnay plant, what would really happen?
The information we had on Saturday night was that it was a single isolated siren, and under the circumstances, an activation of emergency broadcast didn't seem to be warranted.
The Emergency Prepared Office, which Santaracco oversees, learned today 8 sirens sounded Saturday instead of 1. Santaracco says they're unsure exactly what caused them to go off. The Grandy family in Hamlin received another setback tonight. The town board turned down their permit to build on their home, giving them 2 weeks to come up with a suitable plan for their sewer system. Earlier today, Diana Whiteman returned to Hamlin to speak with some of the principals in this ongoing situation.
The town of Hamlin says the Grandys have known since last fall they need a permit to turn this barn into a home.
They never mentioned subdivision plans. All they said was floor plan and a sewer plan, which we gave them. Then when they came over with the notice to stop work, that's when they told us we needed subdivision plans.
In a telephone interview this afternoon, Town Attorney Richard Olson told News 8 the family knew about the plans last fall and just 2 weeks ago agreed to have them ready today. A sewer plan is ready, but the remaining documents will take 2 to 3 weeks to complete. Stephen Grandy accuses the town of neglecting to tell him everything he needed to get the permit and wonders if it might be a cover-up. The Grandys say they have a lot of unanswered questions about the property, why trash and old appliances are buried under this hill next to the barn, and who did it.
People down the street remember this, what we're standing on was flat, was level with the railroad tracks. And as we can see, it's 6-7 feet above the railroad tracks. And as far as I understand, it's garbage.
I don't know what's underneath there, no. When Mr. Warner, the previous owner, owned it, he asked for some dirt, and I know some of our truck drivers had taken dirt down there at various times and dumped down there for him, but I've got no idea.
The Grandys also question the origin of several barrels found on their property, hundreds more on an adjacent lot. 3 uncovered wells and trash were also found further down the street. Attorney Olson says he's not aware of them, but will have the town investigate immediately. Olson insists Hamlin is not trying to push the Grandy family out and will give them full consideration at tonight's hearing. Diana Whiteman, News 8.
We know more tonight about the victims of the terrorist bombing of that TWA airliner last week over Greece. Autopsies show that 2 American women and a baby, 3 of the 4 American victims, died in the fall from the plane and not from the explosion itself. Pathologists say only the man who was sitting directly over the bomb was killed by that blast. The U.S. ambassador to West Germany says the president is studying a military move against Libya right now in response to a terrorist attack at a West Berlin nightclub. Richard Burt says there are very clear indications Libya may have been involved in the bombing of the disco frequented by American servicemen. 1 American was killed in that blast. 2 people are believed dead, 22 injured tonight from a 45-minute raid by Israel against Palestinian guerrillas near Beirut. Israeli jets streaked in today from the sea through machine gun and missile fire, dropping flares behind them to deflect heat-seeking missiles. Witnesses say 10 U.S. supply jets took part in the raid. 6 suspected Palestinian bases were hit. It was the largest air raid in months. Talks aimed at reaching a plan for peace in Central America collapsed today, and the blame is being placed on stubborn Nicaragua, at least in some quarters. Its foreign minister says he refused to sign the treaty because it differed from an earlier ratified agreement. It had more strongly opposed U.S. aid to the Contra rebels. Defense Secretary Caspar Weinberger is the first United States cabinet member to meet with Philippine President Cory Aquino. During their 45-minute meeting, he expressed great admiration for the revolution that overthrew Ferdinand Marcos, saying it returned freedom to the Philippines. The meeting took place amid controversy over a perceived American emphasis on military aid rather than economic aid. Philippine demonstrators demanded economic assistance and denounced U.S. military aid to combat a communist insurgency. Still ahead on our late report tonight, cornering the market on potatoes and wine, a drink that kills. We'll be back in just a minute.
Everyone knows Goldone gives you more interest.